Big Cat Lounge podcast provides an opportunity for all guests around the world to converse on their areas of expertise in a casual lounge setting. Today's guest is Polish-Canadian. He's an engineer staying low-key off the grid and social media. That's all we can say for now, as you'll have to listen to the rest of the podcast to find out more. We welcome Kuba to the Big Cat Lounge podcast.
We're good, man. Good, man. I'm just here in the Queen City, is what they call it. I guess Queen Charlotte. But yeah, just living it up, man. Just living it up here in Charlotte. Just quarantining for the most part. Some people here, they don't really believe in that. How's it your neck of the woods?
Well, it's quite literally the woods. Like, I think the closest town is probably an hour away. Like what I would consider a legitimate town, where I could get groceries and all that's probably about an hour. I mean, yeah, in Toronto, GTA, Canada, like it's pretty fine. I mean, I think most people, for the most part, give a shit about other people. So it's like, if it's no skin off of my back to wear a mask or, keep a distance, then I'll do it. But from what I hear, like stuff starting to open up in cities.
Yeah.
So the lockdown, I think, is for the most part sort of like seeming to die down.
Yeah. Yeah. I hear, I mean, in North Carolina, they have more cases than, Canada as a whole. So, it's one of those things. Like, they just weren't able to contain it here in the US. People just don't care. It seems like, there's no urgency. There was never really an enforcement, right? Like in Canada, they made sure that they put, a fine down or just something to like say, hey, you do this, like, you'll have a repercussion. You'll have something. Here, there's nothing.
Yeah. Do you guys get paid? Like, so I imagine you're probably working and all that.
I'm blessed. I'm working, but yeah, those that aren't, they're qualified for like unemployment. They're getting. I guess it just depends. I don't know. Like, I don't know all the details. I think maybe it was like $600 a week or something like that. It may be more.
Okay.
Some people got stimulus checks.
Okay.
But there's all these like qualifications, so.
Yeah, for the most part, if you're not working here, you get, I think it's $2,000 a month, which is kind of crazy. I mean, it's like if you're smart with your money and you're not living in the city, it's probably actually an incentive to not work.
That's true.
So that's like a potential downside, I guess. So I think Canada is one of the countries where they spent like the most per person with like the least effectiveness for battling COVID. That being said, like as a percentage of our population, our death is like ridiculously low.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was crunching the numbers because I have like a little Excel spreadsheet just to see. And I think what is like 1% of America has tested positive for COVID.
Yeah.
And so like maybe the States is doing more testing or whatnot. But to put it into perspective, Canada's like 0.3%.
Yeah.
So that's like 3 times less. We've got also way smaller of a population, but it's all in like 3 or 4 major cities.
Yeah.
So yeah, who knows? It's a crazy time, man. It's nuts.
It truly is. Yeah. Just being able to like work from home is pretty good as it is. Like before, I don't know if we could all do this, maybe like 10 years ago, it'd have been like, yeah, maybe not.
Yeah, probably not. I mean, like the fundamental technology is probably there, but just everyone's internet speeds and sort of like the building blocks on what everything is built probably hasn't really materialized properly until say like the last 3 years. So
yeah,
10 years ago, we would have just been like, I don't know, we probably would have been wearing masks and going back to work. Oh, wait, That's what we're doing right now.
Today's sponsor is Anchor FM app. Go download the free Anchor app today to get started. You can find it at your Play Store or App Store. It's everything you need to make a podcast, and it distributes everything for you so it can be heard on multiple platforms such as Spotify, Apple, Google Podcasts, and many more. This is what I'm currently using right now to edit and record my podcast, and you can do so from your phone or computer. And the tools are really easy to use to help document the Big Cat Lounge journey. So what are you waiting for? Go today and download it. Yeah, man. It's interesting. It's definitely interesting times. Are you still able to keep up with jiu-jitsu? You still able to practice a little bit? I guess the gyms may not be open yet, right?
Yeah, so actually, like before this whole thing, I pretty much quit jiu-jitsu. I guess this is a podcast. Yeah, I guess this is a podcast, so I'll explain to whoever gives a shit about me. But basically, I was training, like I'm 30. I was training and I was a blue belt. I was competing. I was having fun. It was like really addictive. And then I over time, I'm just like, my neck was so fucked up. So like I would wake up like all gimpy and stuff. And I figured, it's probably worth my longevity to sort of like take some time off. So I took some time off and I picked up rock climbing before this whole coronavirus thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then, yeah, like rock climbing is actually really boring compared to jiu-jitsu. So it took me like 3 months to get into it. But then I got into it and yeah, it wasn't too bad. But yeah, I haven't been doing any of that. I've been swimming. Like I have a property on a lake. So like I'm in the middle of nowhere, right? And Canada has a lot of lakes. So yeah, like I'll do the lake. I don't know. It's maybe like 0.4 of a mile to put it into American terms. So it's not too far across, but I'll swim there and back. It'll take me about like 30 minutes. Yeah, maybe the dimensions I give me are like all off, but yeah, more or less.
It's not too.
Like it's not too far.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it takes me about 30 minutes to get there and back, and that's like my workout. Kettlebells, like I'm in the woods, like I got to get creative. So swimming, kettlebells. I got gymnastics rings that I've installed.
Oh, wow.
That's pretty much what I'm doing to stay sane. That and books.
What do you do on the gymnastic rings?
A muscle up. So like you're doing a pull up and then you position your hands on the ring such that like you're doing a pull up and then you press up, like you turn a pull up into a dip on a gymnastics.
Yeah, I've seen them doing that. Okay.
Yeah. And the trick's actually all in the wrist, actually. Like it's not as much strength as it is like technique in the wrist and like the transfer of your weight from being under to over the ring.
How long can you stay
that's
on,
what I've been doing.
How long can you stay on the ring doing a muscle up?
Well, so it's like a set. It would be like a repetition the way you would like do like one bench press or two bench presses. So I've done I've only recently got it, so even like my next workout I wasn't even able to get a single one. But the first time I did it, I got 4. And then like your muscles hurt like a motherfucker the next day, so you don't do much for like a week or 2 weeks, and then 2 weeks later I was able to do another sort of set of like 3 or 4. So that's about it, really. So it's not like I'm some crazy gymnast, but it's enough to stay in shape.
No, that's awesome. I just wondered like what exercises you were doing on the rings.
Yeah, that some front levers, some back levers, some it's called skin the cat. It's like I guess like a shoulder strength and mobility thing. Dips, pull-ups, like really basic stuff, like nothing too complicated.
Are you doing competitive swimming or just doing different, just like swimming in the lanes? Or swimming in
No,
the lake.
Yeah,
I don't know
I've
how
got
cold it
nobody
is
to
there.
compete. It's not that cold. I mean, I could actually tell you in the house right now it's 68 degrees Fahrenheit. So today we're having like a cold day. In like the peak of summer, you'll get to, I don't know, like 82, 83 Fahrenheit, something like that.
Yeah.
Actually, I've got a thermostat right outside. It would be actually like the peak of summer. You'd probably be looking at around like 87 Fahrenheit, 90 Fahrenheit. It's probably the hottest it gets here. So the water's
So
fine.
do y'all have a lot of heated pools?
No. Americans definitely have a lot more like heat or heated, like with just generally pool culture, really. Like I know you see like what is it? Is it like Arizona or somewhere? Like if you do like a satellite view of Arizona, it's like every backyard's got like a little blue and white pool or whatnot.
Well, I remember when I was flying into Michigan. Michigan is the same way when you fly in there. It's like everybody's got a pool, and then I started talking to people, and they were like, "Yeah, there's no beach or nothing, so everybody's got a pool."
Oh, okay. Yeah. Maybe I just don't hang out with enough rich people here.
Exactly. I'd like, exactly.
But I need more.
Same here.
I need more rich friends.
I mean, the backyard pool's all right too. You can get it from like Home Depot, Lowe's.
Yeah. Yeah. Personally, I like that little turtle slide / sand castle / water wading thing that you had as a kid when you were like 4.
Yeah.
I don't know if you ever had one.
Oh yeah.
Those are awesome.
Remember the little arm floats you used to wear?
Yeah, water wings. Yeah. Water. Yeah, this is sick. Yeah. In order to, they're sick, man. Like
absolutely.
I use to swim across the lake because like I used to swim a little bit. Like I kind of taught myself how to do like the front crawl properly, like years ago. But I've never been like good. And like I'm going through a lake, there's no lifeguard. So what I'll do is I'll tie like a life jacket to my waist with like a long rope, so it's trailing behind me. So worst case I get like a cramp, or if I get really, really tired or whatnot, I just kind of grab on it, and like if I had to, I could put it on, and like at least I won't drown, right?
That's pretty cool.
So yeah, gotta stay safe, man. I'm not gonna shit talk those water wings, because those things have saved so many kids, man.
Yeah, all these kids falling in pools and stuff when their parents aren't looking.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Have you seen where they're taking these like infants and like putting them in the pool and like dunking them under the water and like getting them used to like
yeah, I
have
actually
you seen this?
I know exactly what you're talking about. It's actually like there are those like neonatal classes or whatever women do. I think that's what they're called.
Yeah.
But apparently like a human, when they're born, they're evolutionarily wired to hold their breath underwater or not breathe or something. So it looks crazy, but supposedly like kids could spend like a stupid amount of time underwater. Yeah, it's nuts. I think the only thing that's weird to me is like you're dunking like a young kid in all this like chlorine, which is like, I don't think that's good for them. But
no, not at all.
Yeah, that's probably not the greatest
so
idea.
Yeah.
Especially, I don't know what's worse, the chlorine or the pee that would be in the pool with a bunch of kids in there.
Urine's sterile. It's fine. Definitely.
He's like, he's like, oh, urine in the pool? No problems. We're good.
Yeah, no problem.
I think I would probably, I can't believe I'm saying this on the air, but I think I'd rather, like if I had a glass of someone's piss and a glass of chlorine, like pool chlorine, I'd probably rather drink someone's piss. Like I think just like from the fundamentals of like what's gonna kill you.
Do you want to do our new segment, Chlorine or Your Own Piss, where contestants have to come on and choose either chlorine or your own piss to win a prize?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. That's when Kyle asked me whether I'm down, and I tell him hell no.
So what do y'all think about the whole TikTok issue?
Yeah, I don't know much about it, to be honest. So give me the rundown, and I'll tell you.
I'll let the finance guru.
Maybe
I'll
what
let the finance guru run that down for you.
What, TikTok?
Yeah.
Man, I don't know, man. TikTok, it's just one of those interesting social media companies that's based in China. So we're not sure, I guess, what's going on right now. That's why there's a lot of scrutiny. And I think Microsoft has an opportunity to maybe buy a segment of TikTok. I don't know if it's all of TikTok.
No, now I think Trump's saying I think they're saying they might just buy it all.
Oh, really? Yeah. So
they said the part. I think Trump done told them that you either buy it all or nothing, and you got till like September 15th or something.
And the thing is, this platform over here is a platform that a lot of the teenagers are now on, and they're making a lot of money, like more than all of us.
Bro, Microsoft's gonna buy it for $50 billion. It's a 50. They might get $50 billion for it.
What?
That's a lot of money.
Seriously,
that's a lot of money. Yeah. See, I know what TikTok is and all that. So to give you a bit of background, I don't think I've ever had any social media, like unless you consider WhatsApp social media.
no.
Like I guess, do you remember MSN Instant Messenger?
Yeah, man, I remember that.
You remember that?
That was when the AOL chat rooms were just coming around, wasn't it?
Probably.
That was. I think MSN was after. I think it was like IRC, ICQ, AOL
I think you were still hearing.
And then MSN Instant Messenger came through.
I think you were still hearing "You've Got Mail" when that came out.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, so like I was on MSN like embarrassingly late up until probably like 2007, 2008, back when it like wasn't cool to be on it anymore. And I was just like the loser.
You're that guy. You're like me. You're that guy.
Yeah, I was just the loser in university waiting for like some chick to get on it and be like, hey. And then she would say something like, oh, sorry, like I didn't mean to log into MSN Instant Messenger. Like, this was a mistake. Like,
oh, I thought this was Facebook Messenger. Sorry.
My bad.
Yeah, I guess so. And like noticing that I had this weird, like addictive thing, I just decided not to get other social media. And like over the years, my reasoning has actually gotten, I think, more and more justified. Yeah. Like in the sense of, like, I don't know if you guys are familiar with like Jaron Lanier, Lanier. He's like American. He's an American. He pioneered a lot of VR. You guys could like search him up.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
He sort of shifted, like, because you got to realize like social media is made by like punks that are 25 years old, right? That don't really think of the implications of everything that's going to happen over time, right? And a lot of these guys supposedly are growing up and they're like, hey, you know, like your kids, like don't give them a phone until they're like a lot older, because we have trained psychologists that know how to sort of like develop an app or at least provide insight into developing an app such that it triggers like all sorts of, I guess, like, what would you call it? Like lizard brain rudimental things such that you're hooked on it,
emotional
right?
Responses, yeah.
Yeah. So it's like a lot of this is like random reward, random response. So like you get a lot of like addictive behavior and stuff. And this Jaron Lanier guy, like, so Facebook is worth however many dollars, like billions, trillions, I don't even know.
Yeah, a lot.
But they're worth that for a reason. It's because they sell your information, right?
Mm-hmm.
And like if the Jaron Lanier, he did the math and he said if like a standard American family was to be paid for the information that they provide to the purchasers of this information, the American family would be gaining about approximately, I think it was like $30,000 a year from the information that they freely upload online, right?
Yeah.
So I've always like never, or I can't say never, but I've always tried my best to not put my personal info online.
Wow. So how would you feel if they said, "Hey, we'll pay you 30% of whatever we make off of your data"? Would you be willing to?
If I need the money, but I'm like a private person generally, so I probably like I get paid okay. It's hard to turn down $30,000. But I'd probably have to sit and think about it because I also value my privacy, right?
Sure.
So I don't know. I don't know.
What's the online dating scene like in Canada? What part of Canada were you in? I missed that.
Yeah, so I'm originally from I was pretty much raised in the GTA, the Greater Toronto area. So I came to the GTA when I was 3. Traveled from Poland, but yeah, I've been there. Like, so I'm all intents and purposes a Canadian from the GTA. And then right now I'm about 3.5 hour drive away from there. So if I needed to get back home, it would take me that long to get back. But in terms of the dating scene, I have no idea. I am a potato when it comes to dating.
What is a potato?
A potato. I don't know. It's my own term. It's a blob that, like, I'm not much of a dater. I've been with my girlfriend for 10 years. You know, I'm.
Okay.
I'm kind of like a monogamous kind of dude.
I probably should have
Yeah.
asked the situation first, but I just wanted to know because we're on the social media topic. I don't know what's going down on the online dating scene. GTA.
I mean, from what I hear from my guy friends that are on the dating scene, it's either like really dead and nobody wants to meet up, so they're just practicing their sort of, like, I don't know, text game, I guess, if that's a thing. The chicks will tell you their political leanings, I guess, because we become more and more polarized. So I guess that happens, but in terms of specifics, I can't tell you. I don't know.
What's the political culture like in Canada, and when is the election?
Political culture. Definitely hard to say. You know, I think Canadians are by nature less political than Americans, and I would say probably Canadians might even follow American politics more than Canadian politics. Like, I think to a large part I do. Like, I might actually know a little bit more what's going on. So what's gone on in Canada? There was a scandal because Trudeau seems to have had very close ties to a charity. So that was the thing. So there's that scandal in the news. The budget deficits are like through the roof. They were through the roof even before COVID hit, because we've got sort of like the liberals and the conservatives are the main parties, the way you guys have Democrats and Republicans. And what it seems to be is that the conservatives don't like to blow as much money as the liberals, and every time a liberal comes in, they seem to blow a lot of money and nobody knows what the hell it wants. So that's what it seems like.
Yeah.
But again, it's like sort of a different world, and it's actually even hard to say, because sort of even like the media that I consume, I start doubting what I read, because if it's so one-sided, like the answer is usually somewhere in the middle, right?
What kind of media? What kind of mediums do you consume, or media do you consume?
I'll tend to do some like Redditing. I'm like it's a guilty pleasure of mine, I guess. Maybe it's not even a pleasure. Maybe it's not even a pleasure at this point, but I do it. So that I'll just like go on different.
So you do it and hate yourself afterwards?
Most of my life is me hating myself and thinking I could have been better. So yeah, I totally hate myself.
That's your motivation every day, right?
Yeah, my girlfriend always asks me like why I'm always so hard on myself, but it's like I don't see it as a negative thing. it's just like, it's the reality is like, I could have done it better. And if I do it next time, it'll be better. So it's like, it's not negative, but
And
like,
when
you
you're
have
off,
to, I don't know, you got to look at yourself with a critical eye. Like no one's going to tell you to improve except yourself, right?
exactly. Well, when you're off the grid, you know, it's up to you, right? You have nothing else to distract you.
Yeah. Yeah. That was part of this whole swimming and working out and the reading thing was like, I thought before this whole COVID thing, like someone, I don't even know who, like I read it online, was like, so you've got two options. It was like, you could go into your cave and be a bear and you could come out like a fat fuck, greasy, uneducated, out of shape, like paler than ever, right? Or you could, you know, go and you can make the decision, like I'm gonna, you know, spend 30 minutes a day moving around seriously, and like I'll read a book and like I'll learn an instrument and whatever, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So I tried my best I'm actively trying my best to sort of do that, you know. Even this whole like COVID thing, someone likened it to prison, which was like, you're going to get out if you're on good behavior. Nobody knows when you're going to get out, right? So we're all in prison right now.
we are.
Absolutely.
Canada's doing a good job. If they made sure like the borders are closed, because they know, I mean, they open up the borders, man. They have to be careful. They're smart, man.
Yeah. Yeah. Americans have this whole like I don't know. What do you guys think about this whole like masks and like freedom and like all that stuff? Is that just like a small minority of people that has that opinion? That's just loud.
It's probably about 50.
Yeah.
It's probably about 50-50.
So you would say like half of the people, like, so the justification for not wearing a mask is what exactly?
Well, no, the majority of people.
If I pull a guy.
Well, no, the majority of people wear them. But you said, you asked a different question. Most all people wear them around here, unless they're like at the bar. Unless when they go to the restaurants and bars on the weekends, they do not. But yeah, but it's probably about 50-50 on the whole freedom thing. Whether you feel your freedom's being violated. But it doesn't matter because all the private businesses say you can't come in without a mask. They can really do. The private business can really, in the United States, can really do whatever rule they want. Because it's going to be interesting to see what happens with Walmart. Because, for example, in Texas, there's not a requirement to wear a mask, but Walmart says you have to wear a mask to come in their store. So I can't wait to see that one challenged in the Supreme Court. I'm sure that'll make its way through. So that's going. I'm sure. So they're just saying that they can't wait to see something happen there. Now this was weeks ago. They may have required a mask in Texas by now. I don't know.
Yeah. Wasn't Texas,
man.
Last I heard, Texas is really bad, wasn't it?
I can't see people telling the Texans to do anything.
Yeah.
That's
a very independent. That's a very independent state in Texas. They don't want you to tell them nothing. They don't really want you to interfere. What'd you say?
Yeah, you're right. That's the thing. Like, I mean, who's really like an authority there? Like, are they really enforcing anything? Not really. No one's like, it's not really a fine or anything. There's no repercussions.
For what?
Yeah.
For people.
What, for the mask?
Like, socializing and like not wearing masks and just like not understanding.
Not wearing masks. They are penalizing us in a sense because you can't get into Whole Foods. You can't get into Harris Teeter. Can't get into really anywhere. I mean, every place says you can't come in here without a mask.
Yeah, that's true.
But you're right. You're right. But Kyle, I think what you're talking about is on the weekends when they come out here, like on Glenwood Avenue, and they're like, oh, you can only be open if you serve food, and then like everybody goes there because they serve alcohol too.
Yeah.
Then it's shoulder to shoulder with no mask. I think that's probably more what Kyle's talking about.
Yeah. We get like really weird loopholes. Like it's been in the news where a bunch of guys want to drive to Alaska and like as Canadians. We're like, yeah, like just get through our country, just drive. Like, how many kilometers is it from like the entry point port of like Seattle to Alaska? I don't know.
Yeah,
It's a 2 days, a day drive. I don't know.
Probably.
But anyway, you could drive through Canada to go to Alaska as an American. Like this is a loophole.
Yeah.
And
God,
a lot of these like
it's 2,200. Well, it's about 1,600 miles, dude.
Yeah, it's a lot.
So
God,
how many hours is that?
1 day and 18 hours. Now that's to where's this? That's not the border. That's not the border of Alaska. That's in I don't even know where it's put, man. Fairbanks, Alaska.
Yeah. So say minimum a day, maximum.
It's a day.
2
It's a
days.
day and a half. I bet it's a day and a half.
And that's straight driving.
Yeah.
So that's like
I'm pretty sure you're probably driving in mountains, so it's probably like not just like a flat, interstate where you're like doing 90, or 80 or whatever.
Yeah,
Sure
generally mountains. Yeah,
35 miles an hour for a day.
Yeah, so that's a loophole. We do get guys that have COVID that land in our airports, and like before this whole COVID thing, I like maybe I had it. I don't know, because my job, like I you know how it's made, the show on Discovery Channel. Like my job is basically to program machines, and like I'll travel around when I have to, not that often, to install them.
What
and
type
I was
of
trying.
machine?
It's for the packaging industry. So anything that's anything that goes into a box.
Air? Oh, so like bubble wrap,
so like or like you got to take like a product, put it into a box. So like anything from like booze or like cannabis industry, like pucks for toilets, like anything, and then putting it into a box, and then putting that box onto a pallet.
I did a small stint at a packaging company for sales.
Okay, cool. Yeah, nice. So yeah, that's what I've been doing, and nice. I flew to Quebec, so I flew through like 2 major airports in Canada and I did it twice, that are like hubs for international travel. Montreal and Canada both have, and Toronto have like a large Asian population that comes in, and so like this was, I don't think it had hit Italy yet, or if it did, it was like just beginning. So everyone's like, oh yeah, this thing's coming out of China. And then I'm there at the airport and I see all these like stewardesses from, I don't know, Singapore Airlines or wherever, and they're all wearing face masks. And I'm like, oh shit, this is a stupid idea. Why didn't I just drive? Because it's like an 8-hour drive. I should have just driven. But I got back, and like a couple of days later, I was run down though. I got like pretty sick. Like I don't get sick very often. I got sick for about 2 days. Like I had like a flu, and I don't know that it was COVID, but definitely being at the airport with like a weakened immune system, I caught something.
Yeah.
So that was like a little bit of a scare.
And that's the thing. It's
and
like,
then after, yeah.
You prepared yourself.
Sorry, go on.
You knew already. You like saw the masks, and it's like a sign almost. Like, oh dang, you already knew, because other countries knew ahead of time. They're already taking the warnings.
Oh yeah, America was a fucking shit show, man. When like what I was seeing, like that was reported, it's like the thing that I think was like missing, and this was sort of the case with Canada as well, was like international compassion. It's been like a tendency that's been quoted even by like a lot of people in the past, which is like, like on the other side of the world, there could be like a whole bunch of like horrible stuff happening to them. And like, until it's in your backyard, you just kind of ignore it. Right. Mm-hmm. And like, I have a friend from China, like he's local to Toronto, but I've gone
just like
to
Ebola in Africa and stuff.
Yeah. So I've been like talking to him, and he's got like cop uncles in China, and he's saying, you take this shit seriously, like it's no joke.
Right.
So when that happened, like, well, I was sick, and then my Chinese buddy is telling me to take this seriously. So I told my company, I'm like, I'm gonna come back when you guys like enforce masks, when you guys give us cleaning supplies, because I'm touching stuff that other people have touched. Right?
It's not so much bloodborne as it is airborne, but you know, people can still sneeze on areas and cough. Droplets.
I have a habit of touching everything and then licking my hand. Like
What a weirdo! What a weirdo!
I'm a very like
do you
if
lick
anyone's gonna
toilet
get
seats?
COVID, it's pretty much, yeah. Like short of actually putting my tongue on the porcelain.
And is that how you never get sick? And you never get sick? I'm just kidding.
No,
but you never get sick throughout the year because you lick toilets to keep your immunity up.
No, I've always had like a weird habit of like putting, when I'm like on a computer, I put my hand by my face. What do I do for fun? So I've got like, I just built like a 12 by 12 dock. So we'll take that into the water. I bought a kayak recently, so I've been getting into kayaking. Okay. I built myself like a kayak trolley so I could bring it, so I don't have to carry all.
What would you do if What would you do if a poisonous snake fell out of a tree into your kayak while you were out there?
I actually have a 100% legit, not made up story about snakes showing up in boats. So we've got like a bad season up north. It's like black fly season. It's about a month, and there's these bugs called black flies, and they're small. They're like large fruit flies, and they will find a way to get like close to your skin, and they will suck your blood, and it is horrible. Like, yeah, mosquitoes are a joy compared to black flies.
Wow.
So yeah, like mosquitoes, they don't even really bug me. Like, you get an itch, you take a hot shower.
Oh no, you might not have met some of the mosquitoes down here in the south, bro.
But up north, so it's different, man. It's different up north.
No, I get it.
Yeah, so like the black fly season finally subsided, and my girlfriend, she gets like destroyed by these flies. So it was actually her choice. Like, hey, like let's go for a canoe ride. Or I think she wanted to look at the sunset. So we get out, we pull out the canoe, we put it in the lake. And, you know, it's all like romantic and shit, or as romantic as two people in a boat could be. And suddenly I just hear, and screaming, right? And I'm like, what the hell is going on? And she's freaking out. And it turns out this little snake, it's a garter snake. It's not poisonous or anything. But this little snake just comes out of like this cubby hole in the canoe. So now we're in the middle of this lake where there's a snake that's coming out. My girlfriend's freaking out. So she starts like pretty much breaking a hole in the bloody canoe trying to kill this snake. And I'm like, stop, like relax, just like, let's get us back to shore. And she's like, why are we going so slow? Why can't like we get back to shore faster? It's like, well, because you helped me canoe out, but you're not helping me canoe in. So like, that's your punishment now. So we eventually got it out to shore, and I had to just like flip the canoe over and pull the snake out. But yeah, like I don't know, like she was pretty close to like breaking a hole in the freaking aluminum canoe, man.
Yeah, it's definitely different. I feel like even with the temperature changes, like you know, you get some new species up there that you know, anytime I feel like they come out for a short period and then it's their time.
Some guy in North Carolina was kayaking, and a copperhead or something fell into his kayak and bit him.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
From a tree.
Those are like really poisonous.
So beware. Well, I don't know what it was, but whatever it was poison. It's probably that or a water moccasin. It might have been a rattlesnake, depending on where it was.
Okay.
I can't remember. This was about over a year ago.
Ontario only has one poisonous snake, and it's called the Mississauga rattlesnake.
Huh.
Yeah, I don't know like its area. I've seen one before, a long time ago when I was a kid. Like it's a rattlesnake, so you know it's obvious. But I've only seen one sort of in the wild, I guess.
That's probably a good thing.
Yeah.
My dad
we're not like Australia.
My dad just sent me of a copperhead in his yard yesterday. He lives in Wilmington.
Okay. How do you get rid of them? Like, do you just put them in like a bag that they can't bite through, or do you use one of those like snake?
I
Snake
wouldn't
sticks
do
to, like, poke
anything.
its
I would.
neck, or?
Nah, you can call the either animal control or like the pest removal people, and like they'll go find the nest, and then like I guess go gather the snakes and like release them to the wild where it makes sense to release them.
Yeah, that's what Kuba is gonna do. He's just gonna call them up and it's
A
like
sack,
3 hours.
like hey. It's like, hey man, just go out there with your pillowcase. Go out there with 2 pillowcases and see if you can find the nest.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. But nah, you probably call the pest control people. They'll come out and remove the nest and take care of it.
Okay. I had to get rid of a wasp's nest like 2 weeks ago or something, and I didn't realize that they're dormant at night, so you could just go in at night and pluck it
really?
and deal with it.
Huh.
But I did it in the day like a dumbass. So I got stung. But I did get stung. My moment of pride is I got stung more times before I removed the nest than after.
Oh.
Or during.
Well, if you ever have to try to do it during the day, they've got a spray foam you can get. Like I used to see the pest control. Like you can shoot it like 30 feet or something. They'd be like just standing on the ground and then like spray all this foam all over the nest and then it kills it.
Okay. Right on.
I don't think you can buy that at Lowe's and stuff though. But I don't know. Do y'all have Lowe's and Home Depot in Canada?
Yeah, we do. Lowe's, Home Depot. Most of our stores are like American owned. I think the one exception is Home Hardware.
Canadian
That's Canadian.
What about What about Tim Hortons?
Tim Hortons, I think, is owned by like the Spanish or something now. So it's
really?
That's not even.
Okay.
Yeah. So, since that happened, like it's gone horribly downhill.
This is
years ago. It's probably
Pollo del Locos?
No, that sounds Spanish. What's a pollo? That's chicken.
Mm-hmm.
A pollo de loco would be, what is that? How's my Spanish?
Crazy
chicken.
The crazy
chicken, right?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, the crazy chicken. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Kuba, for joining the Big Cat Lounge podcast.
Absolutely.
Appreciate your time.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Where can we find more about you? Where can our guests learn more about you?
He's off the grid.
I'm off the grid,
right.
man.
He's off the grid.
And you can
only find him on
I don't
dark
have any
web.
social media. No, that's the naughty one. No, I'm not on that.
If you send him, the only way to get him to emerge is sending him some crypto.
Yeah,
he may emerge for some crypto.
Yeah. I do go to places that accept crypto, so maybe.
Maybe. Thank you again.